Whitesboro, New York, a picturesque town, a place where families put down roots, where life moved at a slower pace. That rhythm was shattered in the summer of 2015. Mary Yoda, a well-respected chiropractor, fell terribly ill. Her decline was swift and brutal. Doctors were baffled. Whispers of something sinister began to circulate. Then came the unthinkable. Mary Yoda was dead. The Yoda family was devastated. Their matriarch, gone. The community mourned with them. But grief soon gave way to a chilling question. What had killed Mary Yoda? The authorities launched an investigation. They were determined to uncover the truth. Their search would expose secrets that shook Whitesboro to its core. And it all pointed to a shocking suspect, someone Mary Yoda trusted. What do you think happened to Mary Yoda? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The investigation into Mary Yoda's death was complex. It was a puzzle with missing pieces. The initial autopsy was inconclusive, no obvious cause of death. But one thing was clear: Mary Yoda hadn't died naturally. The medical examiner suspected foul play. Poison was the likely weapon. Detectives descended upon Whitesboro. They interviewed family, friends, and colleagues. They were looking for any clue, any motive. Their attention soon turned to the Yoda family's chiropractic practice. It was there they encountered Kaitlyn Conley, a young woman, quiet and unassuming. Caitlyn was the office manager. She had worked for the Yodas for years. She was close to the family, or so everyone thought. But as detectives dug deeper, they uncovered a web of secrets that painted Kaitlyn Conley in a new light. The evidence against Kaitlyn Conley was circumstantial, yet it painted a very incriminating picture. But it was damning nonetheless, leaving little room for doubt in the minds of many. Investigators discovered that Caitlyn had purchased a rare and deadly poison, one that was not easily accessible. The same poison that had been found in Mary Yoda's system, leading to her untimely death. They also uncovered suspicious internet searches on Caitlyn's computer, searches that raised many eyebrows. Searches about the lethal effects of the poison, specifically colchicine. The timeline of events was also troubling, adding to the growing list of concerns. Mary Yoda fell ill shortly after Caitlyn started working at the chiropractic office. The prosecution's theory began to take shape. Kaitlyn Conley, they argued, had poisoned Mary Yoda intentionally, with a clear and calculated motive. But why? What was the motive behind such a heinous act? The prosecution suggested a love triangle gone wrong, a classic tale of jealousy and betrayal. Caitlyn, they claimed, was infatuated with Adam Yoda, Mary's son, and would do anything to be with him. She had poisoned his mother to eliminate the obstacle in their relationship, a drastic and desperate measure. It was a shocking allegation. The community was divided, with opinions split down the middle. Could this quiet young woman be capable of such a cold-blooded act? The question lingered in the air unanswered. Adam Yoda, Mary's son, became a central figure in the case, drawing significant attention from both the media and the public. He had been romantically involved with Kaitlyn Conley, a relationship that was far from simple. Their relationship was tumultuous, marked by frequent breakups and reconciliations, creating a roller coaster of emotions. Adam vehemently denied any involvement in his mother's death. He maintained Caitlyn's innocence, standing by her side through thick and thin. But his testimony was inconsistent, leaving many puzzled. He changed his story multiple times, each version adding more confusion. At first he denied knowing anything about the poison, claiming complete ignorance. Then he admitted to purchasing it at Caitlyn's request, a shocking revelation, but claimed it was for a completely different purpose, unrelated to any harm. Adam's shifting story raised more questions than answers. Was he protecting Caitlyn out of love? Or was he hiding something more sinister, something that could change everything? The prosecution painted him as a love-struck young man, blinded by his intense feelings for Caitlyn. They suggested he was willing to lie to protect her, no matter the cost. The defense, however, argued that Adam was a convenient scapegoat, an easy target. They claimed the prosecution was desperate to pin the crime on someone, anyone, to close the case quickly. in the court's glare. Caitlyn's fight for innocence. The trial of Kaitlyn Conley captivated the nation, drawing intense media coverage and public interest. It was a small-town murder mystery with a tangled web of relationships, betrayal and lies that left everyone questioning their neighbours. The prosecution presented their case with confidence and determination. They laid out the evidence meticulously, the poison, the internet searches, the suspicious timeline that seemed to point directly to Caitlyn. They called witnesses who testified to Caitlyn's strange behaviour, adding layers of suspicion. They painted her as a manipulative woman capable of anything to get what she wanted, even murder. Caitlyn's defence team fought back with equal fervour. They argued that the prosecution's case was purely circumstantial, lacking concrete proof. They pointed out the lack of direct evidence linking Caitlyn to the crime, questioning the validity of the accusations. They attacked the credibility of the prosecution's witnesses, suggesting they were unreliable. They maintained Caitlyn's innocence throughout. They claimed she was a victim of circumstance, caught in a tragic situation beyond her control. The courtroom became a battleground of truth and deception, with both sides presenting compelling arguments. The jury had to decide, weighing the evidence and testimonies carefully. Was Kaitlyn Conley a cold-blooded killer, as the prosecution claimed? Or was she an innocent woman, wrongly accused, caught in a web of lies and deceit? Deadlocked, the first trial's uncertain outcome. The jury in Kaitlyn Conley's first trial deliberated for days. They struggled to reach a verdict. The evidence was circumstantial, the testimonies were conflicting, the jury was deadlocked, a mistrial was declared, the prosecution was determined to retry the case. They believed they had enough evidence to secure a conviction. Kaitlyn Conley, however, was given a second chance, a chance to clear her name. But the cloud of suspicion continued to hang over her. The community remained divided. The question lingered. Was Kaitlyn Conley a victim of injustice or a cunning killer who had managed to evade consequences, at least for now? Guilty, verdict, the walls close in. The second trial brought renewed scrutiny. The prosecution refined their arguments. They presented a more compelling narrative. This time, the jury reached a verdict: guilty. Kaitlyn Conley was convicted of manslaughter in the death of Mary Yoda. The courtroom erupted in gasps. Caitlyn remained emotionless, her face a mask of defiance. The judge sentenced her to 23 years in prison. Justice, it seemed, had been served, but had it? Kaitlyn Conley maintained her innocence. She vowed to appeal. The case was far from over. It would continue to cast a long shadow over Whitesboro, a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most idyllic town. Justice or deception? Appeals and lingering doubts. Kaitlyn Conley's legal battle continued long after the guilty verdict. She filed numerous appeals. She argued that she had received ineffective counsel, that crucial evidence had been withheld. Her appeals were denied. But doubts about the case persisted. Some believed Kaitlyn Conley was a victim of a miscarriage of justice. They pointed to inconsistencies in the prosecution's case. They questioned the motives of key witnesses. They called for a deeper investigation, but their pleas fell on deaf ears. Kaitlyn Conley remained behind bars, her future uncertain, the truth elusive. Scars remain, a community divided. The case of Kaitlyn Conley left an indelible mark on Whitesboro. It divided families and friends. It shattered the town's sense of peace and security. Some residents still believed in Caitlyn's guilt. They saw her as a manipulative woman who had committed a heinous crime. Others maintained her innocence. They argued that she had been wrongly convicted. The case became a constant topic of conversation. It was a wound that refused to heal. The shadow of Mary Yoda's death continued to loom large over Whitesboro, a constant reminder of the fragility of life and the devastating consequences of secrets and lies. The untold story, seeking truth in the shadows. The story of Kaitlyn Conley is a tragedy. It is a story of love, betrayal and loss. It is a story that continues to haunt those who were touched by it, but it is also a story that remains unfinished. Many questions remain unanswered. Was Kaitlyn Conley a cold-blooded killer, or was she an innocent woman caught in a web of deceit? The search for truth continues. Perhaps one day, the full story will be revealed. Until then, the case of Kaitlyn Conley will remain a chilling reminder that justice is not always black and white. Sometimes, it is a murky shade of grey.